for this product to be sold. Okay, so it's important for you to know that there are these 9 steps for every type of technology. And I mean, even for drugs, these are very well defined, okay, especially for drugs. So if you go and read the TRL chart for a drug, or if it's what does TRL 8 mean, what does 7 mean, there are very clear definitions for this. Okay, so as I said, the value of what you're doing will change depending on whether you want to commercialize it at the research stage, at the development stage, or at the deployment stage. Okay. Now, what a TRL level chart makes you think about is, and it's important to have this chart when you are thinking about translating something from lab to market, is draw out a chart for what it looks like for your type of a product. Okay. How much time is it going to take to go from one TRL level to another? How much money is needed? Who will fund at what TRL levels? This is very important because the type of money that you will get at TRL 1, 2, 3 will be very different from the type of money you can get when you are at TRL 7 and 8, because your technology has been de-risked that much efficiently. Okay. And what kind of human resources are needed? Again, you will not, maybe the same people who will be useful to you at TRL 3, 4 will not be useful to you at TRL 7, 8. If you want to set up a GMP facility for manufacturing something, the same people who are setting up that facility and operating it are not the people who are going to do discovery in the lab. Okay, so your resources will change. All right. And remember that you are putting this as a plan. I'm not saying the plan is fixed, but only when you put a plan, you will know what are your costs, you will know what are your resources requirements. Now, this is where support comes in, okay? Because this journey is very, very difficult to do this by yourself. You do need support of allied ecosystems to help you do this. Incubation centers are such kinds of ecosystems, okay? So there are currently over 100 incubation centers in India today to support technology-based entrepreneurship. All right. And the idea is that you will meet like-minded people. They will support you with funds, with facilities, with networks, anything that you need to go through this journey will support you. All right. And these incubation centers are funded by some very big government entities like NSTDB, which is Department of Science and Technology, BIRAC, which is Department of Biotechnology, Atal Innovation Mission, and also state governments. In Pune itself, we have more than, I think, 5, 6 odd incubation centers, all of which would support tech-based innovations. All right. Now, coming to types of funds. So if you are at the stage where you are very early, that means you are at TRL level 1 to maybe 4 or 5, okay, you will never get investments at that stage because it's very, very risky. That means the chances of your technology failing is very, very high. Okay, so no individual is going to come and put money into your company at that stage, unless that individual is your father, your uncle, your friend, etc. All right. But what money you can expect at that stage is called grant money. Grant money generally is free money. That means the money, they know that there is risk associated. So it's possible that the project fails, but they still want to fund because they believe there is merit project. All right. So free money is where you don't have any returns expected. When a fund for a specific project comes in and not for the company. So investments generally fund the entire company. Okay, but here they fund generally one specific project or program in the company. All right. It's very useful for technology de-risking. You may or may not get manpower money here. All right. And mostly it is not likely to fund a pure service business. So when I say service business, so a product business, when you sell a tangible product. So if I'm selling a television, I'm selling a radio, I'm selling a drug, I'm selling a washing machine. These are all touch feel products, which I can sell. That means I'm a product company. But if I'm selling a service, right? So like, for example, I am for what Infosys does, for example, right? They don't sell products. They don't sell computers. What they sell is a service. So I will develop a code for you. I'll develop a software for you. I will fix something for you that you are having a problem with. That means it's a human resource that I'm using to provide a service. All right. So grants generally don't tend to fund service businesses. They tend to fund product businesses. And they also look for an element of novelty, of innovation. Okay. Now, grants are willing to bear the technology development risk. That means product innovation risk. But if you look at investments which come in slightly later in the course of your journey, which is for selling the product in the market, go-to-market strategies to show that the product works in the market. It will fund manpower, but it may not fund technology development. It could fund a service business, and they look for very large opportunities. They want to know what is the potential size of customers that you will be serving, and they are willing to bear a business innovation risk. Okay, so now if you look at a company like Google, all right, it's a very recently that Google is into products and selling, but when Google started, okay, as a customer of, I mean, as a user of Google, what you and me are, right? If you just go to a google.com screen, what you see is a search bar. You don't see anything else on that search bar, right? So I don't know how many of you have thought of how Google makes its money, because we are not paying for a search. Okay, so for every search we make, we are not spending money. So somebody is giving them money because they're clearly a very rich company, right? So what Google did was a business innovation risk. They came up with a business model by which they said that we will not charge people who are doing searches. We will gain money from advertising and our sponsors and things like that. And that was a business innovation risk. Now, things like that, their investors are willing to take a risk, but not technology development. Now, if you look at what kind of opportunities exist in the Indian startup ecosystem in terms of funding, this is a typical funding chart. Drugs and pharma related products are generally more expensive to develop, and they may require slightly more amounts of funding, but they also tend to fund through these channels, right? So DST has a program by which it gives fellowships to entrepreneurs, grants for prototyping. BIRAC gives a lot of grants for prototyping and for actually even taking products all the way to the market for patenting, etc. And these are examples of some of the names of initiatives which you can go look up. You can take a picture of this slide if you wish, and you will find information about all of these online. Now, just to give you the same opportunities I showed you on the previous slide, I've just boxed them into different categories depending on the stage of the product. So if you look at an R&D pre-POC kind of a stage, you're looking at very early stage, right? So here you get fellowships, you will get some money to understand the problem, to see which type of problem you want to solve, etc. Then when you reach the proof of concept stage, you can expect anything between 10 to 50 lakhs, sometimes even 1 crore worth of funding for you to demonstrate a proof of concept. The same holds good for a functional prototype or a pilot. For prototype product validation certification, anything more than 2 crores, 1 to 2 crores or 1 to 3 crores is something that you can expect. But this is also a stage where you can raise what is called as angel money. When I say angel, it's not an entity that puts money, it's a single individual or an organization of individuals, okay, who will all pool in their money and they will invest. And this funding size will be between 1 to 3 crores kind of money, okay. And then manufacturing, sales, market traction, this is where investments, proper VC or venture capitalist investments will come into the company. And then of course for scale up and things like that. Now here it's important for you to note that if you're at any point as you scale up, you will require infrastructure, you'll require machinery. Nobody likes to give you money for those kinds of things because they are considered to be depreciating assets. So this is where loans, soft loans come in, where you can take a loan to buy that machinery, and the interest for those loans based on many startup schemes we have in India today, you can get it at very low interests, all right? So it's important for you to be aware of this organization called BIRAC because it funds a lot of biotechnology initiatives, including pharma. They have funding all the way up to $1 million US at various stages of product development. I would urge you to go check out the BIRAC website, especially starting from the BIG grant, which is the Biotechnology Ignition Grant, SIBRI, BIP, then they do seed funding through the seed and leap initiatives, and they have a product commercialization fund for 5 crores and an ACE fund for scaling up, which is 7 crores, all right? So please look up these funds. And since many of you are from research background, I would like to say that up to the stage of BIG, you can apply as an individual. That means you do not need to have a legal entity registered. You don't have to have a startup or anything like that. You can apply as an individual. And then during the course of the grant, you can create a startup. Okay, if you really feel that things are going well and you want to seriously pursue entrepreneurship, you can create a startup. And as a faculty member, you do not have to quit your job to pursue this opportunity. You can keep your job, your full-time job as a researcher, take some time off and say that for the next 18 months, I'm going to work on the BIG project. Okay. And as you work, you will develop a team, you will put all of that in place. And then you will say that, okay, now I have a full-fledged team running that project or running this. They will take care of my company. I will be partly in the company and partly in the university. And here it's important for your university also to support you in these causes. There should be no bottlenecks at the university to say, no, you cannot be in a startup, you cannot hold shares in a startup. Okay, so you should get all those approvals and clearances from your university. So this is just to give you funding amounts and sizes. Fellowships can be around 30,000 rupees a month. Prototyping money, as I said, can be anywhere between 10 to 50 lakhs. And depending on the stage, you can even raise up to 2 crores, right? And there are many initiatives today from the government and non-government also, which fund technology-based startups, right? There is something else that you need to be aware of, which is what we spoke about so far, is just taking the technology all the way to the market. That means doing the development, doing manufacturing, scaling, selling, everything, all the way from discovery. Okay, if you don't want to do that and you want to just develop technology in your lab and commercialize that technology, that is possible too. And that is called as technology transfer. Okay, it is where a person or an organization holds technology and they want to transfer it to another person. And transfers generally have monetary benefits also. Now, transfer can happen between a university and a business, between university and other universities, governments, etc. All right. It's important for you to know that an inventor doesn't productize the technology. Inventor continues to work on other technologies. So your job will end when you transfer the technology to somebody else. You will get some monetary benefit from it. Your institute will also get some monetary benefit from it. But that ends there. Now you continue doing whatever you are doing in the lab. Okay. Now, once you license that technology, it can be used for any purpose of what the user wants to use it for. There is something called as tech transfer offices, which exists even in India, which mediate these kinds of technology transfers. So this is just a few examples of technology transfer offices in India. BCIL is the biotech, one of the biggest biotech technology transfer office, or TTO, in India, and also NRDC. So if you're interested, you can check these out, because what they do is they buy and sell technology. They will not only buy it, they will also have a library of technologies which they're looking to sell. So if you want to work on something, it might be a good idea to check the BCIL database. Now, how technology transfer actually works is that the invention is, I think by now you've understood what is the invention. Okay. What you do is something called as invention disclosure. So once the invention has been conceived, the inventors need to formally disclose it to the TTO office. The inventor clearly describes the innovation, possible commercial applications, who was involved in inventing it and all that. Then the TTO does an evaluation for marketability, patentability of the technology, assess that technology, discuss it with the scientists. They also discuss it with the market and see what kind of market relevance, use will a technology like this have. Okay. Now, if they feel that this technology can be made into a commercial product, they will help you identify also the right kind of commercial partners who will be buying this. Now, this can take time, okay? Because once you identify the partner also, you have to work with that partner to customize this technology for their requirement, okay? Then TTO market available technology. They will put it up on their database, on their various forums, and say, look, guys, now we have this technology. Anybody who wants to come and buy this, can. And before all this, your patent application and everything is taken care of. Now, when a company is interested in securing rights, then a license is needed. You can do what is called as an exclusive license or a non-exclusive license. Exclusive means only between you and that. You sell only to that company. Non-exclusive means you can sell it to as many companies as you want. Okay. And after the license is negotiated, then there is a process which you decide how much money are you going to get, how much money is the institute going to get, what percentage goes to whom. Okay. And once all of this is done, sign the agreement and there is an official transfer of technology. So it's important for you to know that these processes exist. You can get help from your commercialization office in your university, and they will be able to tell you. If not, then there are other sources also you can contact in Pune itself who will be able to advise you on technology transfer if needed. So with that, I think hopefully that was a brief overview of what I wanted to share about transferring technology and commercializing products from the lab to the market. Be happy to take any questions.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This was very, very great presentation.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask one question. At the end, you have said about exclusive and non-exclusive tech transfer.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate it further? Means how to decide upon it,
Right.
whether to go for exclusive or non-exclusive?
So ideally, these are things that the technology, so you need some expertise for this, and it helps to have someone who has that kind of expertise advise you on these things. Sometimes there are some government some government organizations which say that we will do only non-exclusive. Exclusive means, like, say you have a technology, you will, and some company is interested. Okay, generally this is negotiated between you and the company. You means your university and the company. Now, the company says we want an exclusive license. That means you cannot sell this to anybody else. Then the terms of that agreement is also going to be very different, in the sense you will be able to charge more because you know you're going to sell it only one time. You're not going to sell it to too many people. So you can actually ask for a higher value for that technology. Generally, exclusive happens when the potential of that invention or that innovation is very, very high, right? So tomorrow you're developing something and a pharma company comes to you and say, we want it, and we want it only for us. You have to imagine that they are all taking a very big risk for paying that much money for your invention. So if they know that, they realize that, they know they're paying that much more money. But even then they say, we want it to be only exclusive, then it means there is some, they are willing to take that risk. They feel that there is a lot of promise in this technology and they don't want you to give it to anybody else because they don't want competition. At the same time, there are technologies by which, you can sell it to multiple companies because each company can produce in their own way, put their own label on it and sell it. So in your lab, for example, you have discovered, say a solution for something. When I say solution, I'm looking at it entirely from a manufacturing point of view. So you have, say, for example, your disinfectant solution. Okay. And your disinfectant solution, you want this, you have a proprietary technology by which this disinfectant solution works. Okay. Non-alcohol based, for example. You want to sell this, but you also know that there are so many disinfection solution technologies in the world. You're not doing something extremely unique. You're doing something unique, maybe, but there's a lot of competition. Okay. But at the same time, there may be enough market also. So if a company is interested in your product, they'll come to you, but they also know there are so many other products out there. So they will say, we are willing to pay only this much for this technology. Then you say, okay, that is the value you're giving. Then I will negotiate a non-exclusive license. And I will also sell this to other companies. The only difference is that you will sell it, suppose sell it to company A. Company A will put their label on it, manufacture and sell it. You'll sell it to company B. B will put their label on it, manufacture it and sell it. Right? And you are the inventor there. That's all. That is your role. So, and so like this, there are different ways to negotiate a tech transfer.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Participants, if you have any questions, please ask. Unmute yourself and you can ask the question. Dilip sir?
Yes, ma'am. Please, any
Yes,
question
sir.
from audiences? Please, I request to all of you. Do you have any doubt, or do you want to clear any concept? Please ask. Any question?
I think there is no doubt.
Any
as
question
such.
from any corner? You're most welcome.
Sir, we can proceed.
Any question, any doubt, any clarity from any corner will be most welcome. If it is not, then I will. from any of the learned council here?
So shall I share the screen then?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Yes, sir, you can proceed now. Sir, you can
So it
proceed
was very
further.
nice interaction. Yeah, it was very nice in lecture by Priya Nagaraj ma'am. So we will again like to welcome you in future also. And I think that audiences would have definitely benefited from your lucid 8 simple lecture. And really there is a imperative need for the startup, especially in the healthcare system. And I hope that this hope will never be betrayed by the coming scholar and those who are actively involved in this sector. Next, ma'am. So finally, I thank you with this with a certificate with a token of certificate from Pune College of Pharmacy.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. And if you feel, I mean, if you
Please
want to
accept our
rejoin-
certificate of recognition.
Sure. Thank you. I just want to say, feel free to reach
And
out.
thank you to all the listeners.
If you need any help, I'll be happy
And
to
thank
connect you to the right kind of people.
Yes, ma'am. We'll be sharing all the contact, all the speakers' contact with the participants. So definitely we are going to require, and we are rather going to require your mentorship and guidance. Because we all are into this concept of startups for the young faculty members as well as for the students. So
Right.
definitely I will share the contact with all the faculty members so they can reach
Sure.
out to you easily.
All right.
That was
Thank
a
you.
very nice session. Only thing is we are facing a little bit power supply and
Yeah, I
heat
think it's
issues.
all over Pune. Everybody's
Yeah,
having issues.
unfortunately today we all are
Yes,
suffering
yes.
from that. Yeah.
All
Thank you,
right.
ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Thank you,
All
ma'am.
the
Thank you, Viveka, ma'am.
participants. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, Dilip, sir, for chairing the session.
Thanks, ma'am, for
Thank you very
giving an
much, sir.
opportunity to interact with the scholars
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
across the country.
Okay, sir. So I already I had put in the WhatsApp message for all the participants. Did you got the information about the afternoon session, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
So as a part of the Smart India Hackathon, they are organizing the lecture series for 1 week, which will be starting today with Abhay Jere sir's lecture at 3 o'clock. So we got that notification mail early in the morning. So we have to postpone today afternoon lecture. But surely Sachin Kamboje will be there for this STC definitely. On some other day, we are going to schedule his session. So 2 to 3 o'clock, we will have a demonstration session for microwave, followed with the next session where we all will be joining from the YouTube link. It will be a live session. I request all of you to just as a part of documentation, please send the screenshots on the given mail ID so that we can have, we have to report to the Innovation Cell Council. We need to submit the mail to them. So kindly send the screenshots when you are attending the live session. 3-4 screenshots are sufficient. So that much you can take the screenshots and just mail it to me as per your convenience till evening. Okay, fine. And of course, the attendance link will be shared with you after 3 o'clock. Any other query any participant is having?
Ma'am, as you have said, you are going to share all the material presentation, because this was very nicely presented, where ma'am has really given a nice dividation of categories and funds. That
Right.
slide was quite informative.
Yes, sir. So we will be sharing the recordings also, and because these people, they might have some confidentiality issues. So when they give us the PDF of their presentations, definitely I'm going to share along with their contact numbers and the different schemes, whatever are available. All the documentation will be shared to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, fine. We will end up the session for today. For the morning session, and then we will be joining at 2 o'clock for the demonstration. Thank you.